Exhibit 74 here, I want to get back to this meeting for now. Exhibit 74, you don't deny that you could have left work for the day.
No, I don't deny that.
Okay. And you don't deny that you didn't tell the school officials, Mr. Hopkins and EJAC, about the gun purchase on the 26th.
No, we had stated that we went to the shooting range. I went to the shooting range with my son on Saturday.
You didn't tell them that you had gotten him that Christmas gift.
I didn't think it was relevant, no.
You acknowledge that you never told Mr. Hopkins and EJAC that it wasn't just a friend, but it was the only peer that you had ever met and left.
I had probably said his best friend.
You acknowledge that you didn't go home to look for that firearm after the meeting at the school.
We wouldn't have a reason to.
So that the answer is, and you acknowledge that?
No, I acknowledge that.
Okay. And you acknowledge that you had already made plans for the night to go to the barn?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And you acknowledge that you had the time to stop at your house before you went back to work?
I would have, but I didn't have a reason to.
Now, you had told us that you had never taken your son to any sort of mental health professional.
No.
Okay. But you know how to obtain that help.
Correct.
In fact, you have prescriptions related to that.
I do.
So it's not that you didn't know who to call or how to call. You didn't.
Correct.
Correct. Okay. Yesterday you talked a little bit about how you express emotion.
Correct.
And in fact, and then counsel asked you about your nerves when you testified. But you're capable of emotion.
Yes, I am.
Right? Okay. And in fact, you had some explosive emotional fights with your husband.
What we did.
And that was in the home that you shared.
Correct.
Okay. And with your son.
Correct.
We saw pictures of that home.
Correct.
And you told us that your son was at an age where he wouldn't text you back, I love you.
It wasn't a text me back, I love you. It's like in passing, like, hey, Ethan, good night, I love you.
Well, yesterday you told us that your son was at the age where he wouldn't text you back, I love you. Those were your words yesterday.
Yeah, but more or less like just saying it in passing. He wouldn't say it back. I said, good night, Ethan, love you, and he did good night.
Okay.
For him to text me that he loved me was abnormal.
Abnormal.
Correct.
Okay. But you didn't respond to that text until 44 minutes later?
No, I was in a meeting at work.
Okay. And if you go through your entire text message thread between you two, the word love pops up how many times, do you think?
Between me and my son?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Okay. 3.
Okay.
The first is in reference to the game chess about a year before.
Okay.
And the other 2 times are right before your son committed this act and after the shooting when you responded. Does that surprise you?
No.
Your Honor, I would just ask if there could be a foundation for the dates of those texts, because I feel like we got just a few texts.
Okay, well, I think he specified. Did you specify the date?
I did.
Two of the times were before and after the shooting, and the other time was when?
About a year prior. I could pull the date if counsel would like it.
And I'm also wondering if what the data he's relying on is coming from Jennifer's phone, where she deletes all her texts, or if it's coming from the shooter's phone. Because the prosecution's asking questions, I just want to know the foundation.
Oh, sure. Let me clear that one up. It's from your son's phone. So all the messages would be contained there. You don't deny that information would be accurate.
No, I don't deny it.
Okay. Now,
What time period?
you told us that...
Well, she said he asked if the chess one was a year earlier, and the other 2 were close in time to the shooting.
The day of the shooting.
Yeah, I know.
I'm asking,
Those have been admitted in evidence.
do we know?
Wait, what's the question?
Okay, but he's asking about the texts overall, which have not been admitted into evidence, and I don't know that the text chain has all the texts. There is no foundation that what Mr. Heese is looking at.
Judge, in cross-examination,
Is all the texts.
if the
He's
witness...
asked if is that wrong? Would you argue with that? That's what he's asking. I mean, there are people.
I know she just doesn't know what.
Hold on, counsel can't testify.
Yeah, she can't testify. Well, there are people that end every conversation with love you.
Yeah,
right?
I'm with that.
Okay, so, and there are people who don't, right? So he is asking what's normal for them, and would she be surprised that how many times that appeared?
Yeah, I'm
She
just
said she
asking, I get that, and I get that it's not common. I'm just asking what
Judge, this is argument.
I'm just
Counsel can
asking
argue
what
whatever she wants to.
period of
What's your-
text this is
What
from.
well, you have redirect.
Okay, well,
Right.
she doesn't know what he's even basing these questions on. Is
How,
my point.
okay,
Well,
it is inappropriate for counsel to
Okay, she
suggest to the
can say,
court
I
what
don't
she or does not know.
She can say I don't know, or
Okay.
she can also say I don't understand the question. She
Okay.
can say that too. If you, Mrs. Crumbley, if you don't understand the question, ask Mr. Peace to clarify it.
Okay.
All right?
All right, thank you, Judge. Now, yesterday, Mrs. Crumbley, you talked about going into planning mode.
Yes.
Okay. And that was in reference to counsel asking you about emotions and how you express emotions.
Correct.
Right. So, I want to talk to you about your planning mode and your priorities from the time that you were arrested.
Okay.
Now, your phone calls were recorded from the time that you were arrested until now. Do you know
Correct.
that? You
Yeah,
know that, right?
I knew that.
You know that, okay. And your priority on your first phone call, December the 4th of 2021, was on your animals and the cash recovered from the art studio. Do you deny that?
I don't deny it.
Do you deny that it wasn't until 10 days later and 14 calls later that you even mentioned your son?
I was,
Do you deny it or not?
I don't, but I was under the impression that I couldn't mention him because I could get flagged at the jail.
Well, you mentioned him in later conversations,
I did.
okay? And in fact, in one, a year later, March 25th of 2023, you said he just needs to man up. Do you recall that?
I do not.
Okay, do you deny that you said it?
It sounds like something I would say.
In December of 2021, your concern was about a GoFundMe. Do you remember that?
No, I do not.
I'm going to play this for you. Ms. Williams, can you have the volume up, please?
Is this submitted as an exhibit?
This is impeachment, Judge.
Very nice, number 2.
Hey, can you have like a GoFundMe to help like pay for my work report?
Well, there's no, Jennifer, that's,
I just mean like you know kind of for speaker base, but I know there's a lot of people that call the lawyer ask about the welfare of my horses. So I mean, I'm just not. Listen, I'm throwing shit against the wall to see what sticks.
what's that?
I'm just throwing shit against the wall to see what
Oh,
sticks.
I know.
Okay, that was between you and your dad.
Correct.
Okay. And you asked him to set up a GoFundMe to pay for the board of your horses.
I did, yes.
You were concerned about other things related to yourself around that time, weren't you? Is
Yeah,
this still planning mode?
I believe so.
Okay. And you were arrested December the 4th. This is going to be December the 22nd.
Okay.
Oh, I have a project for Mom.
Yeah, okay.
Can you have her Google how many calories are in a bologna sandwich with white bread?
How many calories in a bologna sandwich with white bread?
Yeah, that's American cheese.
And with American cheese?
Yeah.
You get any mayonnaise on it?
No, just mustard. No, there's not beef mustard. And then peanut butter and jelly on white bread.
And peanut butter jelly white bread, okay, so she's looking up bologna right now. Is that what your lunch and dinner is?
For the most part, yeah. And the other stuff, my cereal now comes in an actual
Well,
container.
American cheese, yeah, American cheese.
And an apple and a banana. Because they really
Okay.
just carb loading me, and I want to make sure I stay at like 1,000 to 1,200 calories.
No, I know bananas 100 calories.
Is it okay? What about an apple?
Yeah. So the sandwich is 140 calories. Oh, 240.
Okay, I got 300, so that is
Yeah.
60
Yeah.
calories a day.
And then peanut butter jelly and white bread.
Yeah.
Still planning mode?
Well, I wasn't planning there, no.
Okay. Now we're talking about how you describe planning mode. You described that in context to statements you made to the police on November the 30th, 2021. Right? That's the context you use the words planning mode in relation to.
Correct.
Okay. So you told us that the last phone call on December 31st, that was still you in planning mode. I want to make sure we can accurate depiction of what that is. Now here's one from January 15th, 2022.
No, it's not an issue of that, it's an issue of, that bank seemed to be always, they had issues with their online stuff, and they had issues with, just all kinds of stuff. I don't see how can they make banks on these people, it's like, so, but.
And this is that child deposit thing.
Yeah, what?
Am I still gonna get a deposit of $300? That child thing the government does?
I just got, because I lost access. For some reason, I don't know if I told you that,
Yeah.
I had access, well, I had access basically to view only, and it's hard to see everything on there, but then also I lost access, and then it took me, I lost access like a couple days before Christmas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Is that still planning mode?
We were talking about filing my taxes if you played the whole thing.
You were asking about your child tax credit.
Correct.
If you're still going to get that $300.
My dad was doing my income taxes for me.